Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and I'm out on another walk on a slowly brightening up Sunday actually, and I'm starting back at the Blue Idol, which I did a walk the other week actually, last week, but I went southwards. This time I'm going northwards in another circular direction. One of the problems that I've had recently is just trying to find places to park the van, so that's why I've come back here. It's warm enough now to be out without a coat and a jacket. It was about 11 or 12 degrees when I set off from home here, so I think it's going to be quite a pleasant walk, and I think the sun is due to come out a bit more later on. There's a sign back there. I didn't know about this, but apparently this path that I've chosen to go on, which is just a simple circular walk as normal, although still a little muddy, leads apparently to, because the Blue Idol being a Quaker house, leads to a Quaker burial site, a cemetery. The Quakers were persecuted, and so I think in mid 1600s, they decided that they would be buried in their own little area rather than in the main, I guess, at the main parish churches and things. That's really interesting. According to the sign on the gate there, they know that there's 47 graves in this little plot, just dated between the years 1667, I think it is, and 1722. And then looking at some of the headstones, it looks like there's some more recent ones as well. Come out onto a road now, having passed some lovely farm buildings, and I'm not on this road for very long, luckily, because I'm going to turn off and get onto another footpath, which is the start of the real loop that I'm actually doing. I always look at the maps on Google Maps to see if there's anywhere to park near these footpaths, because you often see just, a road like this, and then there's a footpath sign, and you think, okay, that's great, that works in a nice loop, make a lovely walk, but then there's nowhere to park. And I really would like to see more lay-bys, just little areas where all these footpaths that once you could just easily access, now it just seems you can't. Some people ask me why I don't do more long distance walks, which would be nice, of course, but as you know, anybody who's watched my stuff, you see, oops, it's very muddy here, you see me set up the camera and then you see all these extra shots, which to give it some sense of direction rather than all of it just, a vlog face to camera, as a lot of some of these long distance ones do, with just cut with views. So it does actually sometimes take me a lot longer to do what might only be 2 or 3 miles. And also I think sometimes you miss a lot of detail when you're going on very long walks, because you have to cut them right down. Of course, you can't do hours and hours of videoing. I think it's human nature to be nosy, isn't it? I don't mean to pry, but one, you know, has a curious mind. Just past the lovely farm back here. Well, I say farm, it's a converted barn with another older barn next to it. Rather lovely on this rather grand piece of landscape, with a view right down to Chantonbury Ring behind me, and in the field on my right here, behind me here, is what looks like some pigsties, but I couldn't actually see any pigs in there, so that's a shame, but a lovely spot to be. So I've now turned onto I didn't know this actually was a thing, an actual public footpath. I mean, it's just a lane that I am now on, and on the map there's a wider loop, but it involves going on a bit of a more main road, so I thought actually I might just use this and curtail it. It looks more interesting and it's more quiet, and of course it's less polluted. And it gives me an opportunity to look at the hedges here. You can see the hedges have been cut with the mechanical cutter, and I don't like that. I know it's neat, but I've read some Oliver, what's his name? Can't remember his name now, which is Rackham. There we are, got it in the end. And he was very much against this. He was a leading ecologist, because the way, I mean, it's convenience for the farmer, I understand that, but the way it actually cuts, like here, this hawthorn hedge, I think it's hawthorn, it might be beech, I'm not quite sure, or no, it's not beech, I don't know what it is, but anyway, the way it cuts it is that it opens up the wood for disease and bugs and things which can put disease in it, not in a helpful way. And although it is a convenient way of trimming it and quicker, it's not as good as the old-fashioned way with proper clippers, I think. But there you are, that is what we have progressed to. I'm working my way back now, having turned on this little narrow pathway, which, as you can hear, is incredibly muddy and wet. Thank God for my new boots, which are actually sinking quite severely in this mud. However, you can see that it's been fenced off either side of me here. There is actually an official width that a footpath should adhere to. Now, I read about this, I can't remember what the actual figure is. It's something like 1.6 metres, whatever that equates to in feet and inches in old money. And luckily, when they've done this, they have, on this instance, fenced it off appropriately wide. It's a good, well, it must be three metres here, I suppose, which is very good, considering It is incredibly muddy, but it hasn't actually stopped. There is no way to get past this without wading through the mud. People often ask where these footpaths originate from, because there's this very strange crisscross along the country, and it's actually interesting that I've been recently reading about prehistoric man. By prehistoric I mean I'm talking about the Neolithic times, and here am I in the sort of Sussex Weald, I suppose. Let me just get my bearings, I'm about 10-11 miles between Horsham and Worthing, and so this is the great sort of flat clay part of Sussex. But the thing about it is that there is this idea that these pathways, that the Neolithic people used the pathways on the top of the ridges because all of this was covered in dense woodland. Well, it was forest. But you've got to remember what the definition of forest is. The definition of forest is a mixture of heath, woodland, open spaces, and scrub, really, and moorland, I suppose, all within one basic area. And that's not really the case. It's fascinating, having read a lot of Christopher Taylor's work, and actually more of this land, vast quantities of this land, was under cultivation. So these paths that I'm walking on here, which may seem just a little, edge of fields and stuff, may well have been those old routes to and from some of the farmsteads and fields around which the Neolithic people, say between 3000 and, the Iron Age, I suppose, 500 BC, used to walk. Right, well, I am back now on another road, come off that circular route, and I should be heading up back to the farm that I turned right on before I got onto the sort of muddy circular bit, and then I'll head back down towards the Blue Idol and past the graveyard again. There's no point in me filming that the second time. So here at Balls Green, I think this is, very lovely part of the world, and it's been a lovely walk. I've just met a lovely lady who had the house I just came out past on the footpath. So anyway, I think that's probably it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. It's so nice that we've got milder temperatures, so that's all good. Here comes some cyclists, I think. Let them go past. Hi. And I can't remember where it is. It's somewhere here. Here it is. So that's it from me. Don't forget to follow, like and subscribe, and if you've enjoyed the content, do give me a thumbs up, and I will catch you next time. Till then, bye bye.